To start, we're gonna really release our hips. So I want you to back up and get on your mat. We're gonna go 90-90 to start. I want your weight to stay on this leg. You're going to tuck, like super tuck the pelvis and squeeze the glute forward to put pressure right here in the front of your hip. Then you're gonna add that rotation. Keeping the glute squeeze here. Then as you come out, we're gonna get into those hamstrings. So I want you to bring your hips back and bring your toe up, straightening your leg. Really reach your hips back and then hinge over. You should feel this hamstring. You don't want to bend your back. You're not going to feel the hamstring as much, but you want to reach the tailbone. Then we're going to come back and do it again. Tuck the pelvis. Oh, I see you now. Tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute, getting the front of this hip. Then add the rotation. Then come back and reach your hip back. I actually like when you guys have the videos on because I can watch your form. Come back up and we're going to switch sides and give you more specific cues if you come live. If you're doing it later, I'm just going to give cues the whole time, so don't worry. Tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute to get pressure here. Keep your weight on this leg, add this rotation. Then you're going to hinge your hip back. You need to move your foot further out because you're a tight runner like I am as well. Do so. Bring your foot up and then reach your tailbone to the back wall. Then come back up. We're going to do it again. So 90-90, tuck, super tuck, and that's to get length in this hip flexor. Squeeze the glute, but keep your weight on this back leg and then add the rotation. Then come out and hinge. Reach your hip back, bring your toe up, getting length in that hamstring. You should feel that the whole length. And release. All right, we're going to go into an adductor T-spine. So I want your hip right over this knee. The foot goes straight to the side and flat of the ground. You're going to reach your hip to the back wall. So you're in this position here. You're going to straighten your back, and then I want you to rock your hip to the back wall. And then come forward and go into a slight back extension, pressing your shoulders back. Be gentle here. Then come back and really press your hips to the back wall. Feel that stretch of this adductor. Then come forward, put the hip forward a little, get a little back extension, pull your shoulders back, and then go back into that adductor stretch. So this is the adductor rocker, and then we're adding a little bit of back extension because a lot of us have been sitting a lot. You want to be gentle through this. We're only going to hold 1 to 2 seconds in each position. Now stay back here. Pull your shoulders away from your ear. Do not rotate your hips, but open up your T-spine, your arms, looking up over that arm. Then come back down and sink a little deeper. We're going to do a few of these, shoulders away from ear, and open up the thoracic. Again, don't rotate the hips, but look over this arm. And then come back down, sink a little deeper, shoulder back, and add that rotation. And then we'll switch sides. Should have felt that in a lot of different places. That's why I like that stretch. It's very, very effective. Hip right over the knee. Reach your hip to the back wall. Bring your hands down. And we're going to rock our hips back. And then you're going to come forward and bring your hips forward for a few of these. Adductor rockers to back. Gentle back extension. Again, only hold 1 to 2 seconds in each position. You can go at your own pace here. Just don't hold for too long. Reach the hip to the back wall, then shift forward. Pull your shoulders back, bring the hip forward. As you push back, make sure you're really reaching that tailbone to the back wall. On the next one, we're going to add the T-spine. So stay back. Sink a little deeper. Now pull your shoulders away from your ear. Don't rotate your hips, but open up the thoracic, open that leg to the side. Then come back down, sink a little deeper, pull the shoulders away from your ear, and then open up that T-spine, which is red. This. One more, little bit deeper, shoulders back. Again, don't rotate the hips, but open up the thoracic. Awesome. All right, we're going to go to activation. So this is where I want you to grab your mini band. So we're going to get started with some lateral monster walks. So I want you to put the mini band on our ankles. Excuse me, ankles. Let me grab my band. All right, so You have your mini band on your ankles now. And we're going to start just a minute walking across the room. So you're on ankles. We're going to go into a little bit of a Romanian deadlift position. So you're going to do a soft bend at the knees and then reach your hips to the back wall. I want you to feel the stretch in the hamstring. Then you're going to move laterally, keeping the hip back as you go. And just, I'm timing a minute, so keep the hip back. You're going to want to shift to your knees. Don't let it. Keep the fulcrum back here. I'm going to go sideways now. Make sure your shoulders and hips are moving together. You're pushing with that glute as you move. Keeping the shoulders and hips moving together. Keeping that glute ratio. If you need to reset, do so at any time. Keep that reach. Press with this glute. We're going to do a minute. Keep that hip reach. Keep moving. Try not to rock. So my weight is staying centered as I move, pressing off, keeping that hip reach. We just got about 10 more seconds. So start making your way back to where you started so you're even on each side. When you get there, you can take the mini band off. Put it off to the side. We'll use it again. In fact, we're going to use it for this. You don't have to in this, but if you want to level up your single leg deadlifts, use it. So I'm going to step on it. You also could do this without band, and I'm going to hold it with my opposite hand. I'm going to go sideways so you can see this. I'm going to super hold the shoulder pad. I'm going to pivot with my hip. Then I'm going to drive through my heel and squeeze the glute up. Move from the hip or the reach into the back wall. Drive to the heel, squeeze the glute up. Really moving through this. Keeping that focus on form. Keeping the shoulder pad. Make sure you drive through the heel, squeeze the glute up as you go. We're going to switch sides after this next one. Keep the shoulder pad, keep your core. And then switch sides. That really helps activate that posterior chain. I like to hold the band with our opposite hand. Hold the shoulders back, keep your core tight. Keep your back foot pointed to the ground as you reach your hips to the back wall. Then drive to the heel and squeeze the glute to vertical plank. Keep that tension in your core as you go. Really focus on reaching with your tailbone to the back wall and drive your heel and squeeze your glute as you come up. Keep that shoulder tension. So I also like the band because it really makes you focus on keeping the shoulder tension as you go. Almost there. One more. And release. All right, we're also going to do a plank to warm up our core a little bit more. So I just want you to go into a high plank. So we're going to do straight arm and step back into a good plank. From here, I want your shoulders back. I want you to tuck your pelvis a little bit, squeeze your glute, and press your belly button to your low back. From here, I want you to squeeze your scapula, then press away. Really focusing on that squeeze of the shoulder blade, keeping the core tight, and then pressing away. Notice I'm keeping my arms straight. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades and then pressing away. These are called scapula push-ups. Then from here, separate your legs wherever you need to minimize hip rotation. Alternate tapping the shoulder. Minimizing, you're tapping your opposite shoulder. Squeeze your glute and minimize that hip rotation. Separate your legs further if you need it. You've got this. You can also go to your knees as needed. Keep your glute squeeze, keep your core tight as you do this. Keep that focus on form. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, we're going to go through that activation set again before we get to our first main set. So mini band back onto your ankles. All right, we're going to that lateral. I love it. The shirts are coming off now, or sweatshirts, not normal shirts. Reach your hips to the back wall, shoulders back, core tight. I want you to soft bend the knees. I want you to feel the stretch of the hamstring. So you see, I really hinge back. Now move laterally, pressing with that opposite leg as you move, keeping this hip reach. So I'm really pressing with my knees as I go, keeping those hips back. Keep going. I'm going to watch. Keep going, guys. You're doing great. Keep the hip back. Keep the focus on form. Good. More hip hinge. Reach those hips. Yeah, reach those hips back. Keep that core tight. You're almost there. Last few seconds. Keep that focus on form. Good. So now make your way back to where you started. So you're going to get back to where you started. So you're even on each side. When you get there, you can take your mini band off. And we're going to go to those single leg deadlifts with the band again. So go ahead and take your band off. Meet me back in position. And you're going to step on it again. So get that shoulder pack, get your hips square, your back foot points to the ground. Hinge to that single leg deadlift and drive up from the heel and squeeze the glute as you come up. Keep the shoulder pack. So really keep the shoulder pack. Pivot, drive to the heel, squeeze the glute up. Keep your hips even. So I'll stand here. Really reach with your foot to the back wall and your tailbone, then drive through your heel and squeeze your glute up. Keep those hips square. Reach that back foot to the back wall, drive the heel, come up. Keep the shoulder tension as well. Squeeze the glute as you come up and switch sides. So I'm going to step on it with the other. I'm holding with the opposite hand, shoulder pack, core tight, hips square. Back foot stays pointed to the ground. Keep the shoulder pack. You're going to pivot, reach with that tailbone, then drive through the heel as you come up, squeezing the glute. Really important to keep the shoulder pack and keep neutral spine. Keep your hips even. Make sure you're driving through your heel and squeezing your glute to come up. Don't just lift your chest. Focus on it all coming from that glute. Got some balance work here. Keep those even weight on all 3 points of contact on the ground with your foot. As you hinge, you will get a little bit more in the heel, then press up through the ground, squeezing the glute. Gonna go 2 more on this side. 1 more. And release. You can take the mini bit off, and we're gonna go onto the ground into those scapula push-ups. Then into those alternating shoulder taps. So shoulders back, you're going to squeeze your scapula and then press away. So you're really squeezing and pressing away. I'm going to come close. I'm going to watch you. But also the key is here is your arms stay straight and you're actually squeezing your scapula back and then pressing away. So you're getting that movement from these shoulder blades. You're holding plank throughout here. So still keep that belly button pushed to your low back. Still keep that glute squeeze as you do this. Keep the shoulders back. Keep that belly button pushed to your low back. All right, now separate your legs further apart. And then I want you to alternate tapping a shoulder. You can also just hold or go into forearm plank if you have any wrist issues. But here, I want you to really focus on no hip rotation. So I'm seeing some hips rotate. Really squeeze your glute. The hip that you're lifting the arm up, that hip wants to lift. Don't let it. Keep it down. Keep that glute squeeze. That's it. That's it. So much better. So much better. We're going to go 5 more seconds here. Keep that glute squeeze and release. Come out of it. Get a drink of water if you need it. Yeah, hip rotation in running is one of the things you don't want ever. So bringing that into our strength routine where you can really work on that stabilizers can be really important with running. So that's why I like always throwing some anti-rotational core, things that you're trying to minimize any movement out of the hips and really keeping that glute active throughout. All right, so we're gonna start and we're gonna do a cyclist squat today. So that's a heel elevated squat. So you're gonna wanna either roll up your mat to elevate your heels if you have any yoga blocks, which are a little tall, but books. I even use dumbbells to put my heels up on. But if you have a mat, you can use that. If you have any weight, what? Add weight, level this up. But I'm going to show you with the yoga mat. I have a lot of things at my disposal here, but I'm going to show you that you can use a yoga mat and it's rolled up so I can elevate my heels and have my feet, my front of my foot, all of my foot still on the ground. But my heels are elevated. If you have weight, this is where you're going to hold it in goblet or with 2 straight arms here. You're going to have your core tight and you're going to sink down, staying as upright as you can, trying to cover your calves with your hamstrings. Then you drive up. So if you have weights added here, you don't need them. If you're just working on body weight, that's fine. If you have like even like a gallon of milk or laundry detergent to add some load, this is where you can grab them. All right, we're gonna get started. We're gonna go for 10 of these. I want slow on the way down. I want a small pause at the bottom. So 10, nice and slow down, cover those hamstrings. Keep your chest up here and then drive up. That heel elevated is gonna help you stay more upright. So really stay more upright, pause down and then drive up. Good, nice and controlled down, pause, earn it, then drive up. Keep going, I'm gonna show myself sideways so you can see my form even better. But I'm nice and upright, I'm keeping that nice focus on form and core, then I'm driving up through my feet, squeezing my glute at the top. Nice and controlled down and up. Keep going, I want 10 of those. You have about 4 more. Good, whether you're doing weighted or unweighted, focus on form. Still keep your core, keep your chest up. Look at the wall in front of you. It's gonna help you stay more upright. Try and cover those hamstrings or your calves with your hamstrings. Pause for that 1 millisecond on the bottom, then drive up. All right, last ones. Good. When you finish 10, we're going into ankle jumps, or you could do squat drops if you don't want to jump. So ankle, we're going to work on the full range of motion of the ankle. You're going to come up on the toe. You're going to draw quick, jump, land good. Then reset. Up on the toe, pushing to the big toe. I want 10 of these as well. Drop, jump, land good. So go ahead and get into 10 of those. I'm going to give a modification now if you don't want to jump. If you don't want to jump, you come up on your toes, drop quick. Then come up on the toes, drop quick. And you can do double the number, 20 of those. If you got the jump, toe, drop, jump, catch, reset. Toe, drop, jump, catch with your glute, then reset. Come up on your toes, full up on your toes, drop quick, then jump, catch with your glutes, not your knees. Good, then reset. Up on your toes, drop, jump, catch with your butt. Yes, then reset. All right, I want 10 of those or 20 squat drops. Good work, guys. Finish it out strong. You got what, 1 more? Up on your toes, drop, jump, land good. Good job. So those are getting that full range of motion of the ankle and teaching your body how to absorb and catch and decelerate, which is also really good for downhill. All right, in between, I want you on your back and I want you to bring your mini band with you. You're going to put the mini band on the arches of your feet. Arches. From here, I want you up in this dead bug position. You're going to curl up vertebrae by vertebrae and have your belly button press to the ground. Centered here. So keep the core press. I'm going to have you press one leg out and rotate the other rib toward that knee. Then come in, rib towards knee and extend out. Then come in, really focus on the rib towards that knee. Then come in, keep your belly button pressing the ground the whole time. Don't rush it because I want you to really press against the band. Stay up high, really focus on this rib towards that knee. The higher you go with that rib, but don't take your belly button off the ground and don't let your hips rotate. Almost there. We're gonna get a few more seconds here. Keep the belly button press. Keep that focus on your core. Keep your elbows wide. 5 more seconds. Really focus on that rib. Stay high. Keep your elbows wide in rib and release. Good job, guys. I really want to work on those intercostal muscles, which are at the rib cage, which are also really important. All right, we got 3 more sets of this. We're going to go straight into those cyclist squats. Let's go. Heel elevated. Grab load if you can. It could be anything. Shoulders back, core tight. Nice and controlled down for 10. Control. Try and cover your calves with your hamstrings and drive up. Pause for that second at the bottom. Look at the wall in front of you. Stay as upright as you can. If you're having trouble getting low and you're stiff, you can move your feet a little wider and even point them out about 10 degrees, but nothing more than 10 to 15. And that might help you get a little lower if you're really tight. All right, 10 of these. I'm watching. I'm keeping my eye on. Keep your body as upright as you can here. Let those knees go forward a little. This is a cyclist squat. That heel elevation should help you get deeper than normal. Then you're going to drive up. Make sure your shoulders and hips rise together as you drive up. Look at the wall in front to help you. Keep your shoulder pack. Keep that tension. Keep that nice activation of your entire core. I like to breathe in, hold my breath. Like think about going underwater as you go down. Then drive through your heels, squeeze the glute. Exhale as you come up. Good. You're really driving through the whole foot. Make sure shoulders and hips rise together. And when you finish 10, you run right into the squat ankle jumps. Ankle jumps. You're going to come up on your toe. Drop quick, jump, and good. Now I want 10 of these. Catch with your butt. Or 20 squat drops if you don't want to jump. That's a squat drop. Just working on that nice drop and teaching your body how to absorb with your glutes. If you're doing an ankle jump, still come up on your toes, still do the drop, and then jump as quick as you can, and then catch and land. Let's go. 10 of those. Either 10 jumps or 20 squat drops. Drop as quick as you can, and then jump as quick as you can, but reset between each one. Come up on the toes, drop, jump, land with your butt. Good. Try and decelerate and catch. Come up on the toes, drop quick, jump, then catch. Good. So I'm coming up on my toes, I'm dropping, and then I'm jumping, and then I'm catching with my glute, decelerating. Good, let's go, almost there. Finish out 10 of these. Awesome job, catch with your butt, not your knees. Reach those hips back immediately when you come down. Drive up, catch with your butt. Yes, those were much better. All right, when you finish those, maybe on the ground with that foot banded. Band on feet, on your back, knees up, curled up vertebrae by vertebrae. You're going to press the band, and I want that opposite rib towards that knee. Stay up high and rotate to the other side, pressing the band out. Come into center, you're staying way up, keeping the belly button pushing the ground. Keep your elbows wide. It's rib. Think of your rib getting towards that opposite knee, pressing that band out. Do not let your hips rotate. Keep your belly button pushing to the ground as you go. Good work. Keep going, guys. Keep that core. I'm going for time. Good. Remember, rib. So really stay crunched up. Think of rib towards that opposite knee. Good work. Keep that core. Rotate up. Stay high as you rotate to the other side. Don't let your core out of, don't lose the core. I want it tight the whole time. I want that rib cage. And release. Good job, guys. All right, we're going into the cycling. Oh, she broke the band. Feel like you should sign it and send it to me. It happens sometimes you break your band. They don't last forever, unfortunately. You could tie it for now. We're going to go into those cyclist squats again for round 3. So round 3, should have had you join me, Michaela. Heels elevated. Core tight. I want you to bring it nice and controlled down. Pause, then drive up. Hold whatever load you can. We're going for 10 of these. Keep your shoulders back. Keep that core tight. Good. Keep your shoulder tension. Don't let your chest drop actively. That's it. Then drive up, squeeze your glute at the top. Shoulders and hips rise together. Try and cover that hamstring. Cover the calf with your hamstring. I keep saying it opposite, but you want to actually cover it completely. Remember, if you're having trouble getting low, you can bring your feet a little wider and point your toes out just a little bit. 10 of these. Good job, guys. I'm watching. Keep that shoulder pack. Keep your core as you come down. Then drive up and squeeze the glute. All right, 10 ankle jumps. So you're going to come up on your toes, drop quick, jump, land good. Then reset. Up on the toes, drop quick, jump, catch. Let's go, guys. You got this. I want 10 of these or 20 of the squat drops. Remember, catch with your glutes. I want a good catch. Decelerate. Bring it down into that squat and catch. Good. Up on the toes, drop quick. Now jump as quick as you can. Catch with your butt. There you go. Good. Very good. Awesome job, guys. Still catch with that full squat. So I want you to catch with the glute as you land. There we go. Good. All right. When you're done 10 of those on the ground, if you have a mini band that works right now,
on the arches of your feet. It's okay if you don't, it's still a good move of that intercostals of that rib cage, and really focus on that crunch and keeping that rib cage curled up. All right, so remember your optional band on the foot, curl up, and then your rib goes to that opposite knee. Stay high as you rotate to the other side. So that's that focus. I want that rib focus. Really keeping that crunch into that with that rotation. Good work, guys. Keep that core. Keep those elbows wide. Keep the core. Keep that rotation as you go. Focus on elbows wide. It's more about that rib going to that opposite knee. Good. Straighten the leg. Keep that belly button pressed on the ground. Don't let your hips change position. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Take a break. We got one more set. So get a drink of water. We're going to go into those cyclist squats for our last round. Yep, we're doing 4 today. So get a drink of water. We're not trying to rush this. We want to focus on form and activation. If you really think about it, a really deep squat is very much functional mobility as well, and strength, and health of the joints is getting that full range of motion. If you have any movement pattern restrictions, that is a sign for future injury potential. So that being said, add some load if you've got it. You don't have to. We're going into those cyclist squats. So heel elevated, shoulders back. We're going into 10 of these again. Nice and controlled. Keep your shoulder packed. Got to keep it packed. And cover that completely. And then drive up, squeezing the glute at the top. Keep the shoulder packed. Hold the weight here. You can have 2 dumbbells, 1 goblet. You also don't have to. You could just be reaching, keeping that form, and then driving up, especially if you have any trouble keeping that chest. Good work. Look at the wall in front of you. It'll help you. And that heel elevation should help you be able to get deeper than you could normally. You could also separate your legs a little more, like I said, point them out a little bit if you're having trouble. Keep the shoulder pack throughout. You want to keep the shoulder pack throughout to keep the core. That's it. Much better. Because that head to butt, you want that nice, you want to create tension and stability. Then drive up, squeeze the glute at the top. Good work. When you're done 10 of these, we're going right into those ankle jumps. And I want 10 of those as well. I want full range of motion of the ankle. I want you to come up on the big toe, really pressing up high, drop as quickly as you can, and then jump as quick as you can. So it's not even just, you want to jump as high as you can and catch with your butt. But what I really want is you to work on how quickly from your squat drop you can jump. How quickly can you get that muscle firing? Good. Then reset. Reset when you come up on your toes. When you decide to go, drop quick, then jump quick. Catch. Good. Then come up on the toes, reset, then drop, then jump, then catch quick. Very good. That's exactly what I want. Drop quick, drive, squeeze the glute, catch. Beautiful. Good job, guys. Finish that strong. You want 10 of those, then meet me on the ground for that core reset. We got one more foot banded if you have your band and you want to level it up a little bit, but the main focus is that rib cage. So meet me on your back. If you've got your band, you can put it on the arches. If your band broke, that's okay. You're still getting that rib cage. Curl up vertebrae, but keep your belly button pressed. Elbows wide. Straighten the arm, bring your rib toward the opposite knee. And then switch sides, really keeping that focus on form. Really focus on that rib towards the opposite knee, not the elbow. Rib. Keep the core, keep the belly button pressed. Don't let the hips rotate. Don't let the low back come off the ground. Good. Keep going. You got about 10 more seconds. I want to watch. Keep that focus on form. Remember, really push that belly button as you extend and don't let your pelvis change position. Be aware of that rib and hip relation as you go. Keeping that core. Good. Keep that press. Straight out, rotate. Keep your elbows wide like there's a steel beam. And then rotate that rib towards the opposite. All right, last few seconds. And good job. Good job, guys. All right, get a drink of water. We're moving on. That part's over. Hey. All right, so how are you guys feeling? Just thumbs up if you're doing good. Awesome. We're going to be moving on. And so we're going to be going into a little more of that single leg hinge move. So this is where I want you to grab your couch or chair, and we're going to go into those single leg hip thrusts. So we just did a bilateral double-legged squat move. Now we're going to a single leg hinge move. So you want anything you can put right below your back, like a couch, a chair, coffee table, but put your mat on it. And we're gonna go into a single leg hip thrust. If you have trouble with the single leg hip thrust, you can do double leg. You also do kickstand where one foot's on your toe. All right, I'm gonna grab, since I'm at a gym, I have lots of stuff. I'm gonna use this guy. But I at home, even in hotel rooms, I use hotel beds. So you want to put right below your scapula on there. So right below it. I like to hold my neck here. If you're adding any weight, you can hold the weight. You also can put your thumb at your ribs and your forefinger at your hips if you need. You're going to keep this core tight. So I'm going to come up. Notice I tucked my pelvis a little, but my rib is down and my chin is tucked. So hip and rib. From here, I'm going to straighten one leg. Or you can put that foot on your toe. If straightening it's too hard, you can put it on your toe so that you load this leg more. Then you're going to reach your hip towards the ground, and then you're going to drive through the heel, come up, keep that core tight, keep the glute squeeze, hip stay even. So hip hinge, head to butt alignment, then drive through your heel, squeeze your glute, tuck a little at the top, keeping your rib down. Let's get 6 to 8 each side. Again, if that's really hard, you can put your toe down on that side and just get a little single leg bias and get a little help with this leg. Okay, I want 6 to 8. I'm going to watch you for a second to make sure you're doing this correctly and I'm still going to give you cues the whole time. So remember, right below the scapula. Good. Make sure that rib hip alignment, one leg out. Or you can be one leg on the toe, hip hinge to the ground, head and butt move together, then drive through the heel and come on up. You don't need to get all the way down. Good. Tuck the pelvis a lot on the top. Don't arch your back at the top. Keep the rib down. Up and down. If that's really hard, bring the other foot back to the ground and put your toe on the ground. Good. 6 to 8. 6 to 8. Good. That looks great. You're not arching your back at the top. You're keeping that rib